Hey, what's going on, everybody? There are a lot of RPGs on the Nintendo Switch. I mean, a lot. If you Google search Nintendo Switch RPGs, you're going to find 100 different websites with 1,000 different games. But I'll make things a little bit easier for you. I'm going to give you my top 5 favorite Nintendo Switch RPGs. Now, the reason why there's only 5, well, I figured it'd be fun to do. You know, it's the 5th year of the Nintendo Switch, so I'm only going to give you 5 of my personal favorite RPGs that I think you need to play on the Nintendo Switch. Now, let me preference this by saying that not every game on this list is exclusive to the Nintendo Switch. There are going to be some games on here that are going to be available across multiple different platforms, but I think the best way to play it is on beauty right there, Nintendo Switch. So you're going to see some games, and I know I'm going to probably get some comments on here or Twitter or something like that saying like, oh, it's not the best 5, blah, blah, blah. Shut up. You're stupid. Don't want to hear it. I'm just giving you a list of RPGs that are on the Nintendo Switch that I think are freaking unbelievable. I'm going to stop yabbing. We're just going to get right into it. Whoa. Hold on. Pause real quick. I know we're in the middle of making this video, but I totally forgot to add this earlier. If you like these types of videos, make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel, and let's have some fun. Now, let's go back to the video. Bravely Default 2. This traditional turn-based RPG is actually the third main game in the Bravely series, following the original game, Bravely Default, and its sequel, Bravely Second and Lair. This game features a brand new set of characters, story, and world. The game was produced by Team Asano and received generally positive reviews with a Metacritic score of 76 on the Switch and 83 on the PC. I've sadly never finished the game, but I put a good amount of hours, roughly 25, into it and literally loved every second of it. It definitely makes me happy seeing the positive reviews and gives me hopes for the future of the franchise. Now, unfortunately, if you watched my last video, you'll notice I don't own a physical copy of the game, and I did mention how I own a lot of digital games, and this just so happens to be one of them. The game came out at a time right when my daughter was being born, and that's kind of why I put in a lot of hours right away, but then unfortunately gaming kind of went to the wayside. But nonetheless, I think Bravely Default 2 is an excellent game that everybody should pick up on their Nintendo Switch. The next game on the list, Dark Deity. This is the most Fire Emblem game that's not a Fire Emblem game that I've ever played. Dark Deity is a tactical RPG originally released on Steam and eventually ported to the Nintendo Switch. Garnishing relatively positive reviews, the game follows a group of military academy students in a fantasy universe who are suddenly conscripted into the army years prior to their normal due to the onset war in the kingdom. This game blew me away. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I saw it on the eShop one day and I was just looking for something new to play. It was right after I had just finished doing both reviews of Fire Emblem 3 Houses and 3 Hopes on my YouTube channel, and I was looking for something to kind of keep giving me more of those type of games, and I just so happened to run into this game, and holy crap. If you guys have not played Dark Deity, you really need to. Like I mentioned in the little scripted version part of this, it is the most Fire Emblem game without being Fire Emblem ever. Final Fantasy IX. One of my absolute favorite games of all time, Final Fantasy IX was envisioned by developers as a retrospective for the series as it departed from the futuristic settings like 7 and 8 by returning to a more medieval style like the earlier games. It draws heavy influence from the original Final Fantasy and features allusions to the rest of the series. This game was a critical success across the gaming spectrum and is recognized as one of the best Final Fantasy games to date. Again, like I mentioned, not every game on this list is going to be exclusive to the Nintendo Switch. I just think the best ways to play these games are on the Nintendo Switch, and this is the case that I really wanted to plead. Final Fantasy IX on the Nintendo Switch is so much fun because A, obviously handheld, portable, of course. It was also on the Vita, it was on the PSP, I get that. But the Nintendo Switch, having the OLED, having the Joy-Cons, having you being able to bring your Pro Controller anywhere you want, you can put it up anywhere you want to play it and stuff like that. Just being able to dock it, undock it, bring it along with you, it's fantastic. And the way that it shines vibrant and bright on the OLED is just chef's freaking kiss, guys. I love Final Fantasy IX. If you watched my collection video, I kind of went in detail on my little collector's guide right here. I unfortunately don't own a physical copy of this game just yet. It is on my list of games that I want to purchase. I don't necessarily like the graphics for the art book. I just mentioned that. I don't necessarily like the way that the jewel case looks on the Nintendo Switch. I wish there were different versions of it I can get, but I know PlayAsia has one right now, and I know Amazon also has it as well. And it just recently went up in price, which is really bumming me out, but I will eventually get that. So yeah, Final Fantasy IX, cool part about it with these latest versions of the game, which is also available on Game Pass and stuff like that, is it features like little cheat code things. I mean, you can have like max skill, you can have, you know, max ability points and stuff like that. But one thing that's really great is the speed up feature, because if any of you have played Final Fantasy IX, you will know that game is so slow. The text speed, even on fast, is terribly slow. The walking animations, everything about it, when you're in the overworld, it just takes you forever to get anywhere. So the best part is to just speed it up, baby. I love it so much. The next game on the list is Triangle Strategy. Fans of Final Fantasy Tactics and Fire Emblem will absolutely love this beautiful game by Team Asano, Triangle Strategy. Besides the absolutely beautiful art style of the game, the story is one of the best ever. The game features a storyline with branching paths with 4 possible unique endings. At various points, the player and their party arrives at a major decision by consulting the scales of conviction, in which they vote for a specific outcome. Here, the player can persuade characters in the party beforehand to vote for a certain outcome which will alter the direction of the story. This adds a really unique way to progress through the game and makes things much more interesting. Man, I could have picked so many games to put on this list. You know, I could have thrown Octopath Traveler on here. Hint, it's not number 1. I'm sorry. I know a lot of you are probably expecting to see Octopath on this list, but I wanted to kind of shine light on some other games that I don't think a lot of people have really played. Triangle Strategy is definitely one of them. Octopath Traveler is absolutely amazing. Do not get me wrong, and the sequel coming out looks freaking unbelievable. But Triangle Strategy really shined through for me because I love strategic RPGs. Fire Emblem, Final Fantasy Tactics, Disgaea, etc., Dark Deity. I love those types of games. So this game really spoke to me. The beautiful HD 2D art style from Team Asano, just again, chef's kiss all around in this episode, guys. Love it. And also too, just with it being, you know, having the multiple different kinds of storylines you could follow, and then also too with the scales of conviction, it really adds a lot of different unique elements to the game that you don't see in a lot of strategic RPG games, which sometimes story doesn't seem to lack. So really excited that they really beefed up the story in this one, made you feel engaged throughout the entire thing, and gave you a purpose to keep playing it because you have different endings. Love it when games do that and do it well. So the final game on the list, it's Fire Emblem, guys. It's got to be Fire Emblem. If you're making a top 10, top 20, top 5 RPG list on the Nintendo Switch, I'm sorry, if you don't include Fire Emblem Three Houses, I don't think you actually like RPGs. And here's my reasons why. So I did an entire video of this already. I did a whole review. I gave the game a perfect 10 out of 10. But if you haven't seen that video, it's okay. We're going to talk a little bit more about it right here. So, Fire Emblem Three Houses, for those who don't know, is a strategic RPG that, just like all the other Fire Emblem games, is freaking unbelievably amazing. But now it's on the Nintendo Switch. You start off as a character, as a mercenary, who then finds these 3 unique characters, which they end up being, you know, royalty to different parts of the continent that you're on and stuff like that. And you go to this monastery, and I'm not going to give you a whole breakdown of the entire game because I've already done that multiple times. If you want to watch that video, link down in the description below. But it's a strategic RPG. You have different characters. You level them up. There's 3 different endings. Actually, I think there's technically 4 different endings. And you play them. It's great. It's hard. Permadeath is on this game. You know, you have the option of turning it off, stuff like that. But Fire Emblem Three Houses really is one of the best Fire Emblem games and one of the best RPGs to get on the Nintendo Switch. Again, not going to go super into detail because I've already made an entire video about that. If you want to know more of my thoughts and everything about Fire Emblem Three Houses, please go and check out that video. So I'm going to do a couple honorary mentions because I know you're probably sitting here thinking there's a lot of games that are missing. You know, Xenoblade, for example, that's a huge franchise that I just straight up avoided for some reason. I'm not sure why. I finally got Xenoblade Chronicles 3. If you watch my pickup video, you know I went into detail talking about that game. Just never clicked for me. I don't know why. I tried playing Xenoblade Chronicles on the Nintendo 3DS with Shulk. Just didn't really enjoy it. I'm kind of still chugging along on Xenoblade Chronicles 3. I really do enjoy a lot of the game. This sounds silly. My biggest gripe is honestly the auto battles. I hate it. I hate just sitting there watching them do things and all these different things and then waiting for your meter to go up and using your different special attacks and stuff like that. Maybe it's for you. I don't know. It's just not for me, guys. Okay, I'm sorry. You're going to come at me again like Breath of the Wild. I know. Play other games if you want, okay? It's all subjective. Video games, doesn't matter. Take it or leave it. You like what you like. But these, again, are my top 5 favorite JRPG games. RPG, strategic RPG, just putting RPG overall and everything. But yeah, these are my top 5 favorites for the Nintendo Switch currently that you can go and buy right now. Again, they're not all exclusive to the Nintendo Switch. Maybe one day I'll do an exclusivity video of top 5 RPGs that you can only play on the Nintendo Switch. But yeah, these games are great. If you haven't played any of them, really check them out. I wanted to shine some light on some games that I think maybe some people haven't played, like Dark Deity and maybe even Triangle Strategy. So again, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.